Welcome to this presentation on how to transfer land ownership in Nigeria. Whether you are buying, inheriting, or otherwise receiving land or property, correctly transferring ownership is key to legally securing your rights. Over the next few minutes, we will walk you through the legal and administrative framework, step-by-step procedures, documentation required, common pitfalls that you must avoid to have a successful transfer, and tips to safeguard your investment. The aim is to make these accessible and practical for anyone, even though this is your first time of hearing about this. Let's move over to the slides for more interactive session. Okay, we will start the slides by first and foremost understanding why transfer must follow the legal steps. Okay, here's a bird's eye view of the typical process when transferring land in Nigeria. Firstly, you have to verify the title and ensure the seller is the legitimate owner. That's what common sense should tell anyone, because definitely illegitimate owners cannot transfer title, cannot be able to give you what they don't have. So you have to know who actually owns the property before they can be able to give you the title they have. So after you must have determined the legitimate owner, then you draft a legally binding transfer instrument, which is usually a deed of assignment. After that is done, then the next thing will be for you to submit it for the requisite consent of the governor or the minister, depending on the land's origin, where the land is situated. After consent, you will be expected to pay the necessary duties and fees, which is mandatory. Then you will now be expected to register the transfer with the appropriate Land Registry, and in Abuja you do that with AGIS. Then finally, you obtain an updated title document which is under your name. So each step is essential for legal safety. It's very important that you follow these steps in order for you to acquire a legal title over a property that you intend to purchase. Then let's now take a look at the steps that you have to take in order for you to have acquire the right title. The first is title verification and due diligence. Before you commit to purchase or transfer, you have to start with a land registry search. This is basically to confirm that the seller is the lawful owner and there are no legal issues such as prior transfers, mortgages, or court cases affecting the land. It's common knowledge that most people run into fraudulent sellers that must have transferred a title to different persons. So how will you be able to foreclose such occurrence? All you need to do is to conduct a search at the land registry to determine the lawful owner. Just like I mentioned earlier, an illegal owner cannot give you what they don't have. It's only a lawful owner that can transfer title to you. So you have to do the needful and make sure that you are dealing with the lawful owner of the said property you want to purchase. And also you must check that there are valid documents that are associated with the said property, and such documents are the certificate of occupancy or an earlier deed of assignment. Also, a correct survey plan is also very important in the process of a legitimate transfer. And also, you have to verify the history of ownership, the root title of the property, how ownership has transferred over the years. Also, it's also advisable you engage a qualified lawyer to perform or review these due diligence because doing so reduces the risk of future conflicts of fraud. And if there is any conflict of fraud, it will be easier for the lawyer to take up the matter and proceed to court to get your title back. So it's very important that you engage a lawyer that can be able to help you determine the real owners of the said property. Then the next step is a deed of assignment or transfer instruments. Once a due diligence is satisfactory, you have determined the lawful owner, the legitimate owner of the property. The next step is to prepare a deed of assignment or relevant agreement if the transfer is actually a gift or inheritance, because if it's a gift, then it has to be a deed of gift, and if it's inheritance, it follows the same process. So it's different when you want to purchase and when a gift is given to you. So there are different deeds, but they have the same legal effect. These legal document formally transfers ownership from the seller to you, capturing key details such as the seller and the buyer's names, full description of the land, which includes the location, size and survey data, as well as the sale price or terms if not a sale. And the deed must be signed by both parties with proper witnessing and dating. This ensures the instrument is valid and acceptable to the Land Registry when registration is applied for. So it's very important that all these vital descriptions, details must be captured so that there won't be any discrepancy when you proceed to the Land Registry to formally register the transaction. Then the next step in order for you to formalize a transfer is to obtain a governor's or minister's consent, because all we are now looking at are the steps that you have to take in order to formalize your transfer of title, the transfer from the seller to the buyer. It depends on which side are you. Are you the seller or are you the buyer? But all information that I will be sharing is what both parties must know in order to ensure that there is a proper transfer of title from the seller to the buyer. In Nigeria, before land can legally change hands from the seller to the buyer, you must obtain the governor's or minister's consent. This is because all land is held in trust under the Land Use Act of 1978. So you purchasing a land does not automatically mean that you have a freehold interest in that land. The land is still being held in trust by the governor or the minister. So you must seek the consent of the minister before you can be able to take on the leasehold that is attached to the property. So you are not the outright owner. It's still subject to the trusteeship of the governor and as well as the minister. That's in the case of the FCT. So to request consent, you must submit a signed deed of assignment, as well as the original title document, which is the C of O. The survey plan and proof of payment or receipt of the agreed consideration are very key documentations that will aid you in obtaining the governor's consent. And in many cases, consent process takes between 30 to 90 days, depending on the state registry efficiency. And also, it's very important that you have all your documentations intact, because it will also go a long way in order to aid the processing of your governor's consent or minister's consent. Then we'll now take a look at payment of stamp duties, taxes, and registration fees. Once you have a consent, the next formal requirement is to pay stamp duty and any other statutory fees or taxes, which such as the capital gains tax were relevant before you can register the transfer. The deed of assignment must be stamped appropriately after the FIRS office. This makes it a legally binding document that will be recognized by any instituted authority, more especially the courts, because if the matter proceeds to court, one of the key requirements that will be spotted is if it was actually stamped. So without stamp duty payment, the deed may be considered invalid, and the transfer could be challenged later. So it's very important that you take this right step in order to formalize your deed of assignment. So you have to ensure you get the official receipts and the stamped document before proceeding to registration, because that is the evidence that you're going to present at the Land Registry that indeed your deed of assignment has followed the due process of being stamped at the FIRS office. Then let's now take a look at the register transfer at the Land Registry, or if it's Abuja at AGIS. After fulfilling the previous steps, you have to now submit all required documents, such as the stamped deed of assignment. If it's not stamped, it won't be accepted, so you have to do the needful and stamp it before taking it to the Land Registry. And also your governor's consent, which you have earlier obtained, is one of the things that you have to present at the Land Registry. Then the original title document, the survey plan. The survey plan has been reoccurring in all that we have been looking at, so it's very important that you make sure that you have the right survey plan, so that there won't be any problem or discrepancies when you want to register at the Land Registry. And also payment proof to the relevant Land Registry or authority. In Abuja is the AGIS that handles this to ensure that there is indeed a formal registration. Registration ensures that the public registry reflects you as the new owner, so that if you want to sell or you want to bequeath the title, it will not be easy for you to be identified as the real owner of the said property. So if you have gone through all the rest, all the other activities with regards to formalizing your title and you don't register, it still comes to nothing. So it's very important that you do the needful and register. So once accepted, the registry updates your record and issues a new title document or updates the existing one in your name. So this serves as an incontrovertible evidence of your ownership of the said land or property. Then let's now take a look at the documents that are typically required in order for you to formalize a transfer of title to land or property in Nigeria. In practice, several documents must be assembled for a proper transfer. Let's now take a look at those documents. They are on your screen, but from my speaker's notes, I'll have to still share it with you. You need the original title document, such as the existing certificate of occupancy or the previous deeds that has conveyed title to all the previous owners to the property. Then a valid and current survey plan defining the land boundaries is very important, so that you won't be encroaching into someone else's land. Then the stamped deed of assignment is also key in the process of you formalizing your registration, and also a formal consent from the governor or minister. These are the very key documentations that you have to put together. And also, in addition, you have to show the receipt of payment at the stamp duty, as well as registration fees and other taxes that are associated with you formalizing the registration process. And also a valid identification, means of identification, such as international passport, national ID card, or any means of identification issued by the government must be presented by the parties in order to establish that they are indeed persons that are identifiable by the law. So having all these documents ready and authenticated is crucial to avoid delays or legal challenges. So once you have sorted all these out, you can now stroll into the Land Registry and formalize your registration and have a peace of mind that indeed you have secured right to a land or property in Nigeria. Okay, there are some special considerations that we have to take a look at. That's with regards to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and the AGIS process. If the land is in Abuja, that's the FCT, the transfer process is administered by AGIS, not the State Land Registry, as obtainable in other states of the Federation. You must obtain the official AGIS transfer or assignment application form. You can also download it from their website. Then you have to now properly complete it with all the necessary details that are expected of you. Okay, you will also be expected to pay the required fee via any of the AGIS designated banks, and then your submission goes to through the Land Administration Division for processing and eventual registration. So if you're in Abuja, you have to follow up your application at the Land Administration Division so that you know exactly what is happening to the registration process. If there are any queries or there are some documentations that are expected of you, so that you can be able to tender them on time in order to avoid delays. So for full security of title, you have to ensure that AGIS requirements are met in totality. So you must have a checklist of all documentation that are expected, so that once you prepare any of them, then you strike it off your checklist. And this ensures your name appears on the FCT land records after transfer, which is very important, because if you want to sell later, it's very important that your name appears to know that you are the real owner of the said property. Let's now take a look at the common pitfalls that you have to avoid so that you won't have issues in the process of acquiring a title to a land or property. Many land buyers make costly mistakes, and one is the frequent error is purchasing based on word of mouth or informal community assurances without verifying the official title, which is a leading cause of land disputes and fraud in Nigeria, and most especially in Abuja. It won't take you anything for you to conduct a search at AGIS or any state land registry, because that is what common sense demands. Word of mouth and also any assurances coming from any community is not enough. Many people fall into that pit, and once you make that mistake, it becomes a very big problem. You getting your money back. You will be frequenting the police and going to court, which is time-consuming. Time that you are supposed to use for other useful things will now be used in order to cover for the error that you would have avoided by just proceeding to AGIS or the State Land Registry to conduct a proper search to determine the lawful owner of the said property. Another major pitfall is transferring property without obtaining the required governor's or minister's consent, which legally invalidates the transfer. Just like I mentioned earlier, the Land Use Act of 1978 still vests all interest in land in the governor or the minister. So what the governor or minister will have to convey to you is a leasehold, which you will still have to formalize by obtaining their consent. So it's very important that you do the right thing, obtain the consent, so that you have a validated transfer. Also, some buyers neglect to register the transfer, leaving the land recorded under the previous owners instead of themselves. That's also a very costly mistake. You have done all the necessary things, obtained a governor's consent, stamped your deed. Why not just go ahead and register so that you don't have headaches later? So it's very important that you complete the process by registering it, so that there will be a record to show that indeed presently you are the owner of the said land or property. Finally, defective documentation. Improper survey plan, which determines the property size, is very important, and also wrong description. Forged deed can lead to protracted court battles or title loss. It does not matter if you are first in time, but if there are wrong descriptions, improper survey plan, or forged deeds, then your claim will fall on nothing, and then you will automatically lose the title when the matter is being adjudicated in any court. So always insist on full legal compliance, so that you won't run into these pitfalls that will make you lose your title and invariably lose the money in the process. Okay, let's now take a look at some practical tips and best practices before you buy or transfer interest in land. When dealing with land in Nigeria, you have to be proactive, and you have the proactive caution goes a long way in order to ensure that you acquire the right title. You have to always conduct an official land registry search before paying or making any commitment. Before a kobo or a dime leaves your pocket, you must know exactly who the real owner of the land is. Avoid relying on informal brokers. You have to retain a qualified lawyer who can be able to help you conduct the search and know exactly who the real owner of the property is. Also, you have to ensure that the survey plan is up to date and check that the land is not earmarked for government acquisition or encumbered by pipelines, roads, or utilities. Because if that is the case, in the nearest future, you will face the bulldozer of the government that will come for the demolition of the property if you have built something on it, or if you have not, then the said land will be repossessed by the government. You have to make sure that all required payments, such as the stamp duties, registration fees, consent fees has been made, and also the official receipt that was issued by the FIRS, you have to keep it safe, because that's the evidence to show that your document has been properly stamped. These practices help protect you legally and financially. Financially is in the sense that the money that you have saved all these years will not get lost because of you not doing the right thing. So it's very important you do the right thing, so that the legal and the financial aspect of you purchasing the property will be safeguarded. So to summarize, transferring a land or transforming a land purchase or inheritance into a legally safe ownership requires more than just you making a payment. You must follow the legal steps that we have been stating all these whiles, and once you follow those steps, be rest assured that you are doing the right thing and you will acquire the right title, because land is vested in the state or the federal authority, and valid transfer demands consent. You have to follow the due process of obtaining consent, registration, all that we have been saying. So the core process is first and foremost due diligence, knowing the real owner. After that, then you have to execute a deed of assignment, a deed of gifts, so that there will be a clear transfer of title. After that, you still have to obtain the consent. Just like I said, consent is required because the land is still vested in the governor or the minister. After you have obtained consent, then payment of the duties and fees is very important. Then registration under the new owner will now be to finalize the process. So skipping any of this step can expose you to loss or dispute. So you must follow this sequence in order for you to have a right transfer of title. And also, it's very important you engage a professional such as a lawyer or a surveyor to navigate the complexities and secure your property properly and also in the right way. Thank you for following this presentation on transferring land ownership in Nigeria. If you have any questions, whether about verifying a title, preparing documents, obtaining consent, or working with AGIS or your state land registry, please post the questions in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your questions via WhatsApp on the WhatsApp line that is on your screen. I will personally respond to your queries to help you navigate and complete your land transfer successfully. For personalized consultation, for the guidance and additional resources on transfer of land ownership in Nigeria, I implore you to visit our website to access detailed guides, case studies, and expert insights designed to keep you informed of the latest regulatory updates and best practices. Also, you can partner with us to leverage our deep industry knowledge and take the next step towards a successful transfer of land ownership in Nigeria. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to download this presentation for your future reference, and also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for a more valuable content such as this one. Thank you.